friends. Now we're friends. Welcome back. My name is Taryn, our watercolor abstract painter, and
I'm Sieglinde. Welcome back to another episode of Art Sparks with Taryn and Sieglinde. Woohoo! What are we talking about today, Taryn?
Okay, today we want to have something fun, okay? And something that will be like, it's really close to us is what happens in the studio, behind the studio. So really know what goes on inside the studio, okay? Because sometimes there's a lot of ideas that actually, they're really romantic. And actually, really, I shouldn't burst your bubble, okay? Because they're really romantic. But we want you to know the truth, okay? Behind all this, okay? What do you think?
Perfect. So we already talked about all the aspects of being an artist that we had to check all the check boxes. So now we're gonna move all that out of the way, and it's just studio time, correct?
Exactly, creative time, okay?
Okay, all right, sounds good.
Sounds good. I think one of the things that people think is that, okay, you have to be inspired, or you have the muse has to hit you in order to make paintings. Is it true or not true? What do you think, my friend?
I think, well, I like to have nice big blocks of creative time, but you have to just show up. You can't just wait until creativity hits you. But what I do like is the big blocks of creative time where I know once I get in the flow, I just keep going and going and going and going. But waiting for it, then you're usually too distracted by all kinds of other stuff. So the thing is to be very consistent, I think, in showing up in the studio. And no matter how small your activity of the day, you need to do something every day. You know, kids, husbands, or no kids, no husbands, partners, whatever, just show up.
See, and for me, I don't have every day. I have my certain painting days.
Okay.
Muse or no muse, I'm sorry. I'm in the studio. So sometimes you have bad days. Sometimes you have good days. All right?
Yes.
So that's the other point. All right? So...
But I have a question. I bet you on the days that you're not actually in the studio, I bet you that you are brewing on ideas, because literally when my kids were younger and I would do dishes, they would come and chat to me. And sometimes doing the dishes, like doing something with my hands, was like my creative brewing part. And then I would be disrupted, and then I would get annoyed. And they said, but you're just doing dishes. Like, no, you don't understand. My head is on fire here with new stuff. So they learned quickly that, whenever I'm in this zone, to get out of the way.
Nice, but for me is I have to prepare myself, thinking what I'm going to be painting. So that's why for me muse doesn't work, because I have to prepare myself what I'm going to be doing.
Exactly.
And what is happening to you, my friend, is that it means that you are getting ready and you're collecting all this different information. They're going to need it. But when you're going to start painting, you paint.
Exactly. And here's the other thing that I want to add to that. And I've said this to several people, and most creative people would agree with me. Creating, right, is not a thing that you do. It's a lifestyle. Because, and it sounds like you're very similar. For me, creativity, it really seeps into everything. Even when you're not in the studio creating, you're creating, or you're getting ready to create, or there's something in the back of your mind just churning and preparing, or something that you already created and you got stuck and you need to fix it and you don't know how, and it's in there what does it want to be?
Well, see, I have to go to that point, but what I also think is that creativity it's a muscle. So the more you use it, the easier it is, and it's with everything. So
exactly.
So it says when I'm not creative, I'm sorry, but it's just you have to just get into the rhythm, and little by little, just little changes and little things will make the creativity grow or make it easier. But the point that what you were saying, and it's a great point about fixing, is you think we can make a painting and it's nice and it's fabulous. I'm sorry, but no, it's a problem-solving steps. So in a way that. Yes, you have a painting, you have your mind, it usually doesn't turn out the way you plan. And it's okay, how am I going to fix this? How am I going to move this? How am I going to do that? So it's a problem-solving activity.
Yeah, because here's the thing. Painting is not making a drawing and then coloring it in. right? Well, at least not for me and not for you either. So if you really want to let the material and the creativity speak, you layer upon layer. And the paintings go through several stages. Like, I'm always surprised when I see a drawing and a painting that's like half colored in and then half pencil lines. And I'm always looking like, how does that work? Because it feels so tight and controlled. And then I think that's no fun. Okay. That's so predictable. So yeah, I think as artists, sometimes we just make our lives more difficult, right?
Yes.
But so the problem solving, I agree. So it's almost like being creative also requires that you let go of control. And we talked about that before, like really letting go, going with the flow, but then you run into obstacles and then you need to figure out how to fix the obstacle. And it can be that your composition is off, your colors are off, your balance is off, your energy is off. There's so many things, visual and non-visual, actually, design elements that need to work together in this painting that can be, oh my God, like one line can ruin everything.
Or
I've done it many times.
Or can make it better.
Or make it better, absolutely.
Or make the whole thing better. That would be my other point is, it's more thinking a lot of times than painting. Yes. So you put your paint and you have fun and whatever. Yes, but later on, when you have to make it work, it's like, oh, wow, now I have this one and now I have that one. How am I gonna fix that one? How make it together? So it's a lot of time you have to be thinking and thinking.
Especially the end stages. It's can't believe I'm going to say this in public, but I start talking to my artwork, right? It's like, okay, what do you need from me? What do you want to be? Like, where should I focus? What do you want me to look at? Talk to me.
Careful, because they can answer and can tell you like, okay, because for me it happens like, it wants to beat me like, ha ha ha. And I'm like, hell no. Yes, they laugh at me, okay? So you talk, careful what you ask for, because they can really laugh at you. So like, oh. No.
I know. Oh my God, this is so funny. So, and then sometimes, like you just have to put the artwork away, turn it around so you can't see it and give it space, especially when they laugh at you, right? You got to like move it out of the way, give it space. I'll come back to you in a week or two or a month or two. Yes. And then sometimes you see it again and it's like, oh, poof. And like within 30 minutes, it's fixed and it's done.
Yes. And I have a good a way of looking at paintings. I look at it like persons. So for example, the beginning is like a baby, full of possibilities. All right?
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yes. Exciting.
Exciting. Oh my God. And then it's a kid. Still cute. All right?
Lots of playing.
Nice. Having fun. Then comes in the teenager years.
Ooh.
Yes. That's what most of the people like, I'm done. Yes. And you want it out of your house. Yes. Okay. So if you keep on working on it, then it becomes the adult that is going to be a wonderful person. So that's how I look sometimes at my paintings. What age is it right now?
That is such a great analogy. And that reminds me of one of my first painting teachers like 20 years ago. And he said, in the painting curve, right? But I think it's for every artwork, but this was a painting teacher. So he said, in the painting curve, there's always a moment where everything gets dark and muddy and you think you are the worst artist ever and you think this painting is a total loss and you'll never be able to resurrect it and it will never amount to anything. He said, but that's what distinguishes the real artists from the hobbyists. That's what he said. He said, if you push through that and you come out the other end, it's like the dark teenage years. If you push through that and you come out the other end, your painting will be way better than you ever even imagined, even in the early stages. And he said, and that feeling, that's why you start a new painting, knowing all too well you're going to have to go through those dark days once again. But that feeling when something comes out that is way more exciting and way better than you ever dreamed possible, yes. That feeling is what addicts you to make the next one and the next one and the next one.
Like, yeah, I did it. That's what happens, okay? That's how you feel, okay? Like, yes, and that's when you want another one, okay? And it's going to be it's like another kid. Sometimes it's like another kid that's going to be totally different. So yes, that happens with paintings. And one other point, I think one other point is that we have to paint, but sometimes when you're in the middle of painting and you're having fun, you have a mess. And part of the working on the studio is cleaning the mess.
Yeah, cleaning is 100% part of the studio practice. And you really need to build that in. And it's not just the daily cleanup from the mess you make. Sometimes when I'm going through a creative lull, which we all happen sometimes, all of a sudden I get the urge like, go clean up your studio. Go clean up your studio. And there isn't a mess from work I did the day before because I wasn't working the day before, right? but there's this thing of like going through old stuff, reorganizing, that kind of, it's almost like a spring cleaning, right? But
exactly
any time of year. But so doing that and being with your stuff and with older work and with inspiration for work that you never even touched before, and all of a sudden, like, those creative juices start turning and you put stuff together and before you know it, within this cleaning activity, all of a sudden you know exactly where the next work's going to come from.
See, I like cleaning up after I finish a series. It's like whoosh, clean up, start a new one. So,
but I feel it's also it's almost like, and we talked about this earlier about like this, like I need inner space. Like I feel like there's too much noise. Like, because here's the thing: when you're a creative person, you always bring yourself to the table, right? It's like the parents for for the child, right? Like the quality of your parenting matters here, right? And if you're in a bad mood that day, your kid's gonna act up. Well, it's kind of the same when you paint, right? And so sometimes I feel that there's just too much noise around me, not in the literal sense, and I have to create this space, and it's like creative space, but it's also inner space. And then sometimes the best way to create that mental, creative inner space is by creating outer space. So, and that's also where this studio cleaning comes up, because then you create space for something new to come in, right? Out with the old, in with the new, or reorganizing, and it's breathing
and more space, and you have more clarity. I don't know, for me that is okay, but I want to clear, this is our experience as an artist, all right? Other artists that maybe have a different experience. For us, it's like the life of an artist in the studio for us, all right?
Yeah, and we just wanted to share our viewpoint with you. But you know what? I suggest that next time we interview an artist, we're going to ask them too about what is like their main studio practice or what gets them going. And then you'll hear from other people. And so far, I'm actually surprised how aligned our experiences are. And I'm also surprised how aligned the artists that we interview, how aligned those are. So maybe there is a little bit more of a general thing here than we first thought of, but let's find out. Anyway, thank you for watching. Hope this was fun.
For us, it was fun. So I hope we pass it along to you as well. Okay.
Yeah, and who knows, you may just want to go get creative now. Start with cleaning up, create space to be creative. Anyway, all jokes aside, thank you so much for watching this week. Please like, subscribe, and share this video with anybody you think would benefit or would be interested in this. And if you have a specific question for us, by all means, reach out, pose your question, or put it below in the comments, and we would love to take your question as a topic for an upcoming conversation of Art Sparks with Taryn and Sieglinde.
Well, thank you for watching.
Thank you. Bye.